Hello, I'm Richard Chandler. I'm an executive coach and business consultant, a business partners counselor, and a psychotherapist. And I've come across a concept very recently that was really exciting and one that I had not heard before. It comes from Marshall Goldsmith. You might have heard of Marshall Goldsmith. He's famous for being an executive coach for very big Fortune 100 companies, often working with the CEOs of those organizations. And the concept comes from his most recent book, and I'll read the title for you: Lose Regret, Choose Fulfillment, The Earned Life. And Marshall Goldsmith calls this concept the AAAs. The first one is action. The second one, aspiration. And the third is ambition. And he differentiates those three and how they could apply to your life and to your work. Marshall says that too often people that are very successful only have focused on ambition. And ambition has to do with very set time frames. It's really about goal setting. Here's my goal. I want to achieve these numbers, this growth, whatever it is, by this time frame. And we often then work very hard in a very focused way towards that ambition that we've set, that goal we've set. And when we arrive, we often can feel good for too fleeting of a time. And then that fades and we're off to the next ambition, hoping we're going to feel good at the end of that particular accomplishment. Aspiration, on the other hand, does not have time frames. It's more what we're aspiring to, what we want to be. It has to do with our fascination, our interests, the things that really get us excited and delight us. One of those for me is learning. I just love to learn. I read a great many books, and I listen to as many as I read. And all that learning just helps me feel better about myself. It helps me to also have a large database to better serve my clients. But there's not a time frame on it. There's not like a point where I arrive. It's just kind of a lifelong thing that I do and really enjoy doing it. And it also relates very much to action. I do have the action of daily reading, of reading whenever I get a few minutes here or there, or just listening to audiobooks while I'm doing other activities that don't require a lot of conscious thinking. And so here, my action of reading and my aspiration are very aligned. They serve my ambition in the sense I do want to continue to grow my own business, and I have a lot of commitment to supporting my clients who have very high ambitions for their own businesses. And therefore, all this reading and learning that I'm doing will serve a purpose. So it serves ambition, but it's not ambition within itself. The learning isn't. All right. So if all we had was aspiration for our business, we wouldn't get very far because it's always kind of nebulous. It's kind of ephemeral in the future. I want my business to grow. I want my business to expand. I want to earn more money. But it's not specific enough. For that, we need ambition. For that, we need specifics, goals, and ones in which we are really setting ourselves up against a standard that we've set and a timeline for achieving it. So ambition really is very, very good for that. But again, it has its downsides. The downside of not necessarily being happy with the journey of getting there, where we will get that with aspiration. And we'll certainly get that if we enjoy the actions of getting there. But we don't really need it. We might be well enough. We might say, well, I don't really care for, if I had to choose, I would just simply retire early and spend more time just kind of loafing around and hanging out with my romantic partner and my kids. And that would be more like, just action. But if we enjoy the action of business, we enjoy the interplay, we enjoy the thinking, the strategy, the interaction with our peers, if we enjoy that, then the action would be very aligned with the ambition. And it could also be aligned with the aspiration in the sense that even if we don't meet our goals or we get some setbacks, we still feel good that we're still doing something that fascinates us and something that really gives us a lot of rewards, intangible rewards, not having to do with having arrived at a certain place by a certain time. So I hope this explanation of action, aspiration, and ambition is helpful for you to perhaps feel better about where you've gone so far and where you want to get to in terms of your life and in terms of your work. Thank you for listening, and please, if you get a chance, look me up. You can find me easily by going to my website, strategicleadershipconsultants.com. That's consultants, plural, strategicleadershipconsultants.com. And again, my name is Richard Chandler, and all this was brought to you by some very wonderful reading from Marshall Goldsmith's book. And once more, the title of it is Lose Regret, Choose Fulfillment, The Earned Life. I highly recommend you get a copy. And if you get the audiobook, you have the further pleasure of listening to his wonderful voice. Thanks so much. Take care.